All right, let's take some of these tools that we've been learning, that we've been adding to our growing tool belt, and let's look to see how we can use these to possibly verify an identity. The identity that we're going to explore, we have the cosine of 3x minus the cosine of 5x divided by the sine of 3x plus the sine of 5x. Did you know that equal tangent? I didn't. And I'm the expert here, and I still didn't know that. So what we're going to look at doing is let's figure out how to verify this. And remember, the first thing we do when we try to verify an identity, we start with the side that's the most complex. And to me, it looks like that side over there is the most complex. Tangent of x, not much to it. And most likely, we're probably going to begin using some of these additional formulas that we've been building throughout this section. So let's end this section pretty strong here, folks. Cosine of 3x minus 5x, that's the difference of cosines. I have the difference of cosines function right there, or formula. So let's just go ahead and use that, see where it takes us. Maybe it's going to take us the wrong direction, I don't know, but let's give it a shot and see where it goes. So the numerator becomes minus 2 times the sine of alpha plus beta, 3x plus 5x, which is an 8x, all over 2. Times the sine of alpha minus beta gives me a negative 2x divided by 2 gives me a negative x. Hope I didn't skip too many steps there for you. Now let's look at the denominator. Let's find the correct one. I have the sum of two sines. Sum of two sines is right there. And so that becomes 2 sine of alpha plus beta, 3x plus 5x, divided by 2 gives me a 4x, times cosine. Cosine of alpha minus beta, 3x minus a 5x gives me a negative 2x, divided by 2 gives me a negative x. All right, first step, done. Are we getting any closer? Are we going to where we're going to? I don't know, but I see a lot of things that cancel out, and I love that. So let's look at this. I can cancel out the 2 and the 2. I can cancel out the sine of 4x and the sine of 4x. So what I'm left with now is I'm left with this negative, I'm left with this sine of negative x, I'm left with this cosine of negative x. What do? What we must remember or should remember, or once we look through our growing list of equations, is do you remember sine was an odd or an even function? And you remember cosine. Was cosine an odd or an even function? Sine was an odd function. So the sine of negative x, that can also equal negative sine of x. Cosine, odd or even? It's even. So the cosine of negative x is the same thing as the cosine of positive x. And then I also had out in front of this initial negative that's hanging out there. It looks like I'm heading in the right direction, or at least I'm kind of getting rid of a lot of extra terms. So negative times a negative, that's easy. Let's just make those both a positive. And now I have the sine of x over the cosine of x, which we may remember is the definition of the tangent of x. So I was able to verify that identity to close out our section. Awesome.